Welcome back to Fourth and Pain, the only pro wrestling show to be hosted by an NFL player and a weight loss champion. He is Redskins defensive end Adam Carricker. I am the weight loss champion Chuck Carroll. Be sure to follow the show on Twitter at Fourth and Pain and at fourthandpain.com. Adam Carricker, Vince McMahon came on WWE Raw this week to give the state of the WWE address, and he had some interesting things to say. What do you think he had to say, Adam?
He kind of made fun of what was going on right before he came out. They were dancing with an imaginary boy. I thought that was very interesting.
Wow. Okay. Did you know? Because you have just kind of, I don't know what you were trying to do there, but let me take over and try to bring the segment back up a little bit. Yeah, Vince McMahon kind of came out and really said exactly what so many fans have been crying for on the internet, what so many more have been writing in, phoning in, calling their congressman and saying, hey, we need to knock off this Mickey Mouse stuff and dial it back to what made wrestling so great a few years ago, back when there was a little bit more violence, back when it was a little bit more quote unquote real, back when there were more chair shots and kendo sticks and blood and a whole lot more action. And you know what? Vince McMahon came out himself and he delivered that in the main event of Monday Night Raw against CM Punk.
I'm really surprised Barack Obama hasn't tweeted about it yet. He tweets about every other sporting event.
So we saw that, and you know what? We spoke about Vince McMahon, and I said, well, you know what? It's probably time for him to stay off camera.
I didn't say that. You did.
I know. That's what I said. I said
You were wrong.
Well, you know what? I am, because he came out in the main event and he did a heck of a job wrestling a guy that is probably 30 years his junior. And CM Punk,
32-40, yes.
yeah,
Like
I mean, unbelievable job. Gets out there with the kendo stick, took off his, took the sleeves off of his shirt. Guy, daggone near 70-year-old, still has the guns.
He's still jacked, and to be honest with you, it was very entertaining. It was by no means a lackluster main event. In fact, it's one of the better main events I've seen in quite some time. It was quite entertaining, and getting out the kendo sticks and all that stuff, that was great.
It makes me think at 70, you may resemble Vince McMahon. A little bit larger, but I can't see these guns over here going away altogether. Like, you're just a big dude. Maybe Vince is just a big dude too.
The largest arms on the D-line will still be there at 70, 80, and 90, my friend. They're going nowhere.
If you're in a retirement home, are you going to brag about, I got the largest arms in the retirement home, Sonny?
Well, I probably won't say Sonny, but yeah, I'm going to be bragging about how I got the largest arms in the city, probably.
I think
whatever city that is.
I would like to see your arms measured against Ryback. Because Ryback, believe it or not, is coming around with the fans. The fans are actually really receptive to what's going on right now. And it really surprises me, Adam, because this is a guy I thought that was going to be put into an impossible situation. Maybe he's getting elevated too quickly. They're trying to rush him. We've discussed this in the past. But on Monday, the fans were really receptive in him getting involved in the John Cena, Vince McMahon, CM Punk triangle. And he comes in and the fans start cheering, "Feed me more." And they get really behind this guy. He clotheslines CM Punk and the place pops. They erupt for friggin' Ryback, man.
You want to know why I think that is? And I should clarify. I never said if they did it now, it wouldn't be good. What have I always said? What have I always said?
Take your time, groom the man.
I have always said it could be so much better.
There you go.
That's what I've said. I never said it couldn't be good. It can be good now, and obviously it is good now. But my thing is it can be so much better. But here's why I think they're erupting. And I find myself getting excited. I find myself getting excited watching Vince. And you know why? It's somebody different. It's not CM Punk. It's not John Cena. It's not Dolph Ziggler. It's not Alberto Del Rio. It's not the same 4 to 5 people. It is somebody different that we have not seen. And that's why I think Vince McMahon was exciting. He's just fun to watch. But I think that's why Ryback is getting this reception. It's this big, new, different face, and we haven't had one of those in a while.
Well, let's take a second to really analyze this. What is it about Ryback that sets him apart from some of the other guys that they tried to rush and put into the title picture? Guys like the Great Khali, guys like Lord Tensai. What is it about Ryback that separates him and differentiates him and makes the fans so receptive towards him.
Well, it actually makes a little bit of sense. I mean, Lord Tensai is just the white Japanese dude that it didn't go together at all. It didn't make any sense. The Great Khali, I mean, he looks like he's walking on stilts. I mean, the dude is huge. He's enormous. He doesn't talk. He doesn't speak. And his agility, if it was a video game, he'd be like a -40. I mean, so at least Ryback makes a little bit of sense, and he's got some physicality to him. And so, of course, he's going to go over big. I think it's going to be big. I just think it'd be even bigger. You need to listen to me.
I agree, but they're kind
No,
of
you don't. I can tell in your voice. You
I
don't
agree to a certain extent, but WWE is, they're in a bind right now with CM Punk. John Cena's shoulder still ailing. If you saw Monday night, he still had the tape on there, kind of as a support brace for that. Just had the surgery not that long ago, so we'll see if he's actually ready to go at Hell in the Cell. And now at the close of Raw, we saw Vince McMahon issue CM Punk an ultimatum. He says, "Hey, Punk, you can either face Cena at Hell in the Cell or you can face Ryback at Hell in the Cell." Now, CM Punk has said time and time and time again he has no interest in facing John Cena. He will not face John Cena. He's rightly put his foot down time and again. But now McMahon's like, well, if you don't face Cena, it's going to be Ryback. And if you don't choose by next Monday, I'm going to choose for you. So let's put you in CM Punk's position. Who would you want to face at Hell in the Cell?
Well, this actually reminds me a lot of Undertaker Triple H. When Undertaker kept wanting that rematch for last WrestleMania, kept wanting it, and Triple H just kept saying no. So this whole time, I keep waiting for CM Punk to finally give in, just like Triple H did to The Undertaker. But the thing is, I don't know if John Cena will be ready. I mean, if you watched him, he did not move that arm. He did not. I mean, he literally did everything with just one arm. So he may not even be able to go at Hell in the Cell. May not be a possibility, which is why they're probably pushing Ryback so much. As far as who I would face, if I'm CM Punk, I mean, the guy that's going to get you the respect is John Cena. It doesn't matter that you've beat him 45 other times. The fact of the matter is everyone wants to see it one more last time. And that will be, finally, he'll just shut up about getting respect. It's so freaking annoying. It's like my 18-month-old just won't stop crying last night. And, it's just like, have the match, win, lose, move on. And I still think it's too soon for Ryback.
It may be too soon, but I'm honestly a little bit, well, not a little bit. I'm a lot excited.
I know you are. I can tell.
I'm
you won't say it, but I can tell.
I'm really excited because this is working. I did not expect it to work, and here we go. Fresh talent, and the fans are behind him. Now, I don't expect that he's going to capture that title at Hell in the Cell if they decide to go that route. I don't expect him to capture the title, but I don't exactly think he's going to fade back into oblivion either after he gets that first loss. So therefore, I'm kind of on board with Ryback. Now, what is that face?
If he's in the match, I think he has to win. He can't not. You can't put a guy in there this soon and then have him lose.
Well, let's
he has to win.
Let me flex my wrestling knowledge here.
Do I need to bring up the Laurani challenge?
No, we're not picking matches here. We're going with wrestling psychology right now.
But you are outdated and have no clue about Mr. I wrestled 20 years ago.
Yeah, but you know what? That means that I'm on the level of what Vince McMahon is trying to do with WWE.
You got one match right last year, Rock versus Cena. That was it.
But easy there, Coach East. That was a different era. Vince McMahon is taking it in a different direction. Right. Remember, they're dialing it back. They're taking it back to my time.
You might have a valid point there. Okay,
Thank
go
you.
ahead. I'm sorry.
Now, here's what I have to say. If Ryback faces CM Punk at Hell in the Cell, CM Punk cannot lose that match. Why? Because then it would derail arguably what will be the biggest match in Royal Rumble history. And that is CM Punk versus The Rock. Now, hear me out on this. How many times has CM Punk come out and bragged about how many days he's held the title? How long he's had it? 300 and change at this point. Vince McMahon even made reference to it on Monday Night Raw last night. Every time the announcers intro CM Punk, they talk about, well, here's CM Punk. He's held the title for 300 days and change. Wouldn't it be so much more if CM Punk held that title going into the Royal Rumble, had it for over a year at that point, faces The Rock takes it away. Remember, The Rock is also guaranteed he's going to win the WWE title next year.
Well, so this is interesting to me because when we were picking matches not so long ago, you picked against CM Punk because you said that him constantly bragging to you about how long he had the title, to you, that was an indicator that he was going to lose.
Yeah, but
Do you remember that?
I do.
Okay.
But don't you get
Now
it?
that doesn't make sense.
At this point, I've had time to let it marinate.
Marinate?
At this point, I've had time to mill it over. At this point, I've actually dug deep into the coffers and the recesses of my mind, pulled out that wrestling psychology, and I said, hello, self. I'm going to do better now. Why? Because I'm actually going to think about things before I open my mouth.
I like
and
it.
I have thought about this. And this is why I've come to this conclusion. This is why I am confident that no matter who CM Punk faces at Hell in the Cell, he is going to retain the title. And he's going to retain it again at Survivor Series. And he's going to retain it again at the December pay-per-view. But he will lose it in January to The Rock at the Royal Rumble.
So here's my question. CM Punk faces Ryback. CM Punk faces John Cena. Now, well, ignore that John Cena comment. I was thinking about two questions at once. CM Punk faces Ryback. What would be the bigger match? Let's say Ryback wins. You saw the reaction of the crowd last night. Let's say he wins. Crowd goes bananas at the pay-per-view. Then he's got to defend it at two other pay-per-views. He wins those two pay-per-views. He has now defeated CM Punk, probably CM Punk in a return match, and some other, probably maybe John Cena or someone else. I don't know who it would be at that time at the other pay-per-view. How big would that be? Undefeated Ryback versus The Rock at Royal Rumble. Would that be bigger than CM Punk having the belt for over a year versus The Rock?
I don't think it would be bigger. I think that it could build. It would certainly be very interesting. And me, obviously, now I'm on the Ryback bandwagon. I still don't
I see
think
that you are. I see this.
he's not as good
You
as
have been
Goldberg. He's
converted.
not as good as our friend Goldberg, but I am on board because he is fresh talent, and that is something WWE still desperately needs. But here's the thing.
So just real quick, you think that CM Punk having the title for 350 days, 400 days, over a year facing The Rock is bigger than an undefeated Ryback facing The Rock at Royal Rumble? That's what you're saying?
Yes, because if you also think about it, the seeds have been planted for CM Punk versus The Rock for over a year. Pretty much since Punk got that title, they've been building for this thing. That confrontation earlier this year
Raw
on Raw.
1000.
I mean, it's the seeds have been planted. There needs to be that payoff match. Now, Ryback wins the title. WWE has their OMG moment of all OMG moments. Nobody is going to expect Ryback to win this game. It would be like the lowly Cleveland Browns defeating the San Francisco 49ers. Not going to happen. If it does, we're talking about a heck of an upset. I don't see that happening. But again, if Ryback loses, then he's not going to fade off into oblivion. I think that they'll put him into a series of matches with maybe a Intercontinental title, maybe the U.S. title, something in there. Maybe they'll put him over on the SmackDown side of things, get him involved with the Big Show, have a couple of Battle of Big Guys. I mean, that wouldn't necessarily be too bad because Big Show is an established big guy. Again, he's not a guy like Lord Tensai that was just kind of thrust out there. Big Show is an established guy with credentials that's respected, that's been around the business for a while. I think that if Ryback were to get into a series with the Big Show, somebody like that, it would help elevate, escalate his persona in WWE. And let's not forget Randy Orton, who's currently off filming a movie. He's going to need an opponent when he comes back too. Lots of options for Ryback, none of which have him fading off into oblivion. That's what has me so excited. But again, there's absolutely no way that CM Punk cannot hold that title headed into the Royal Rumble, would derail everything.
No way that I'm trying to figure out your English. Okay. Basically, you're saying there's no way he's going to lose.
Right.
All right. So here's what I'm thinking. I just had this thought. And if this is what they're doing, it is genius. Let's say this whole time they promote, Ryback versus Punk possibly at the next pay-per-view, promote, and it doesn't happen. I still don't think it can happen. And he definitely can't lose because that's just ridiculous. You can't put a guy in the title match too soon and have him lose. That's just to me, if he gets it, he's got to win. But the fans start to see him as this guy. All of a sudden, you push him out. Now there's this frustration, like he should have been there. He should have had it. All of a sudden, that actually elevates him a lot quicker than if you put him in there. And so what happens is he starts, like you said, maybe he gets the Intercontinental title. I remember when guys used to hold two belts at a time. What if he got the Intercontinental and U.S. title at the same time? What if he held the tag team titles by himself? He beat a tag team by himself. They were tag team champions last night. What if he held it by himself? Something ridiculous like that.
He could get away with saying, I am the tag team champion.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. That would by the way, I love the fact that there's new talent. Like you say, they have needed that. And I think that's why he's getting over so big, because new talent is so needed. But I think that would be awesome. I think that would elevate him so much faster to thrust him up there, and then all of a sudden he's pushed back, and then people are like, oh, he should have had it. And then he does something like hold a couple of titles, and then I think that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to be Cena versus Punk, and I think Punk's going to retain. There's my prediction.
I like your psychology, sir. That is very well thought out. Remember, and I'm not backtracking. I said if it were Cena or CM Punk versus Ryback at Hell in the Cell. I think that the wise move is exactly what you said. You hit the nail on the head, and I wasn't kidding you earlier when I said in earlier shows that you have a future in wrestling, even if not a wrestler, just as a writer, because
appreciate that.
Your thoughts are so well developed, and you can formulate them a lot quicker than I am. That took me 2 months to draw this conclusion.
I hear there's an opening. I'm available.
Good zing. But John Cena will not be getting the title back from CM Punk. He will not be getting it back from anyone anytime soon. I think that John Cena's best shot, just to take the conversation in another direction here, his best shot at getting the title back, I maintain, could be that WrestleMania rematch. If you think about it,
no,
it's still setting
will you
up
let
for
that go?
I just can't.
I just want to kick you every time you say that.
Well,
and I only have one leg.
Well, let me.
That
ask
would hurt
you,
me more than you.
Okay. Well, you just asked me what would be the bigger match. Let me ask you this: what would be the bigger match then? A CM Punk Rock rematch at WrestleMania if Punk loses the title at Royal Rumble?
No rematch. No.
Well,
I'm opposed to all rematches at WrestleMania.
Well, then
they're banned. Lifetime.
Then naturally, I need to ask you, who's the Rock going to face? Is that the time to pull out Ryback? That's
what I'm saying. That is the time. You're thrusting him up there. You push him down, and now all of a sudden everyone's like, he should have had it. He's holding the tag team titles by himself. Or he's holding, actually not the tag team titles. I love Team Hell No. So he's holding the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title by himself. He's on both shows. He's getting promoted. He's getting elevated. The Rock and CM Punk meeting this epic clash at Royal Rumble. Then Ryback wins the Royal Rumble, and he's going to meet The Rock at WrestleMania. He doesn't even have to win the Royal Rumble if you got both belts at that time, and he meets The Rock at WrestleMania. That, to me, although I don't know, because it could work, I think The Rock needs to face someone with a little more tradition to them. I do have a question for you, because I've been thinking about this.
Sure.
We are just all over the map, and I'm having a great time doing this.
No, man, this is a good segment.
I'm having a blast.
Yeah, man.
Every single week, a certain superstar seems to come out of the mouth of CM Punk from the past every week. Mr. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Do you think there's going to be an appearance, because every week his name is coming out of CM Punk's mouth? This is about the third, fourth week in a row. You think something could happen there? Mr. Beer versus, what's he calling himself? Straight Edge versus Mr. Straight Edge. And we had talked about this actually one time last summer. I don't know if you remember, for a brief stint. Mm-hmm. Do you think something like that could happen?
It could.
He keeps bringing him up.
It could. And I know that Austin has said that he may want to wrestle that one final match. And, if Punk does not have the title at WrestleMania, that is still a heck of a main event.
Oh, I think so. Absolutely.
I mean, can you imagine a WrestleMania? Then you've just proposed this, a WrestleMania that has both Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock on it. And, oh, by the way that you and I are talking about it, not only are there two legends of the WWE on the card, but they're also pushing new talent. Going back to The Rock and Ryback, can you imagine what that would do for Ryback's career? At that point, they would have an established long-term superstar, a bona fide superstar on their hands. That would be the way that you need to build up new talent. I love it. And yes, fax that off to WWE tonight if they still use faxes. Otherwise, email it.
I think we're going to go with the email. I think we are onto something here. I think we need to be hired, given huge bonuses, huge raises, because the WWE needs to listen to us. They need to pay attention to us. Gosh, dag burn it, we know what we're doing.
That is a brilliant idea.
And here's what I like, because I was going to say we're actually not making sense, because we talk about they need to let the stars of yesteryear go and promote the new guys, but what you said about the plan that we have so eloquently formulated, literally Just while we're talking, folks, this was not premeditated whatsoever. This literally is spontaneous, spur of the moment stuff. And what I love about what you said is that it's older yesteryear guys pushing the new guys. It's not two older guys fighting each other, which, as great as that is, holds everyone back.
Right.
So you're pushing that new talent, and that I love.
It's the perfect blend of old meets new. And that's kind of why Vince McMahon worked on Monday Night Raw this past week, because he was helping further CM Punk. Now, Punk's, pretty well established. Ryback obviously has a lot further way to come, but it wasn't Vince McMahon versus Mick Foley. It wasn't Vince McMahon versus Stone Cold. Again, it'd be awesome to see, but it's helping further the current guys, furthering the new guys, up-and-comers. CM Punk is the best thing WWE has going right now. Ryback has that potential as well. As crazy as that sounds, Ryback has that potential. I'm on board with this, man.
Dude, I am so in. For once, we agree on something, and I think this is awesome.
I am on board.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. I don't know where else to go.
Check out the shirt, by the way. Yeah. Check out the shirt.
Oh, isn't that what WWE sent you?
That is. That was their Christmas gift in June.
God bless
the
Caitlin
WWE.
Kochi. She is a
Absolutely.
good woman. God.
We got to wrap this up sometime.
I'm a fan of her. Yeah, man. I
We're
don't
on a
really
roll.
know.
I don't want to stop.
I don't really know where to take this.
Let's talk about what happened in 1997 Royal Rumble. Let's just debate that.
Is that the one in Anaheim?
I don't actually have a clue. I just threw it out there.
Yeah, was that the one somebody hid in the bathroom the entire time that came out to win?
I don't remember.
But anyway, I really don't know how to finish up this segment other than to say we are seriously onto something. And you know what? You listening at home, tweet at us, at Fourth and Pain. Let us know. Who do you think, CM Punk should lose the title to? Is it too soon for Ryback to get involved in the title picture? Is Ryback ready for a main event in WrestleMania? Can they get him developed to a point where he can headline WrestleMania? Let us know. I think we're onto something. I are definitely onto something.
I concur.
You guys let us know at Fourth and Pain. But on that note, we got to sign off because today we are fresh out of time. Thank you so very much for believing in our weirdness.
I'm Adam Carricker, largest arms on the D-line. Peace out, home skillet.